This video is going to discuss the uses of water agar in mushroom cultivation. Water agar is exactly as it sounds, it's just water and agar mixed and sterilised without any added nutrients. Water agar is mainly used for two things, which is germinating spores and cleaning up tissue and culture which you are not 100% confident with. So that could mean a spore print that you've taken from a mushroom which you've found on the forest floor, or maybe an agar plate which has excessive moisture and just is looking a little bit suspect. In my case, I'm going to be using water agar to germinate some cordyceps spores. This fruit here has been sitting on top of the plate for probably about 6 months. It was originally done under a flow hood, so it hasn't really got any obvious signs of contamination, but the fact that this old cordyceps fruit has been sitting there for so long means I don't want to germinate these spores straight onto a nutrient-rich agar. Now the obvious question is, why would you ever want to use agar with no nutrients? So when it comes to spore germination, especially from dirty samples, the problem with using nutrient agar is that any bacteria that are living on the mushrooms and on the spores can explode very quickly and overrun the plate before the mycelium has even had a chance to germinate. Spores don't necessarily need nutrients to germinate. They come with a small amount of nutrient storage that they can use as energy, and this allows the spore to germinate and produce hyphae while it goes searching for food. Bacteria, on the other hand, needs nutrients to multiply, so what ends up happening is your spores germinate and can go looking for food, whereas the bacteria starts to multiply, it doesn't find much nutrients, it slows down and eventually localizes. This gives us the opportunity to take a small piece of tissue from the leading edge of the mycelium, which is grown away from the bacteria, and then transfer it onto a nutrient-rich agar for it to expand, and then we can use it. And all of those principles also apply to tissue culture. So if you've got an agar plate which is colonized and you're not sure about it, you can take a sample, transfer it onto water agar. When it expands, take the leading edge and then move it back onto nutrient-rich agar, and then you're more likely to have a clean tissue culture on the new plate. The actual recipe for making water agar is 500 milliliters of water plus around 7 grams of agar. Mix these in a lab bottle and then sterilize at 15 psi for around 20 minutes. It doesn't matter if you use tap water or distilled water. I'll say I think tap water is better because it's got some trace minerals in it which helps with germination. That's typically what I use. So now I'm just going to do an inoculation of the spores into the agar. You can see the cordyceps spores here. They shine like bright orange when you run a light across them. Very difficult to see, so I'm not trying to blind you. I'm just trying to show you where the spores kind of get spit out onto the plate. Once the agar goes under around 55 degrees, it's time to pour. It should be set within a couple of minutes. I'm using the back side of the scalpel to lift up the spores, and then I'm just going to run them down into the agar in straight lines. Unfortunately, when I recorded this, my head ends up getting in the way, so I can't show you the spore inoculation. Instead, I can show you the culture transfer of the shiitake onto the water agar and the results, and I'll talk you through that a little bit. Very simple, I'm just transferring the tissue from the plate on the right onto the water agar on the left. After about 5 to 10 days, it looks like this. Then I'm going to take another cut just inside the leading edge, and then transfer this onto a nutrient plate. And if we just have a look at this plate here, you can see how thin and wispy the mycelium is on water agar, and you can see I've took the cut just inside the leading edge. Not right at the edge, just inside of it, because this is the most sterile area to cut.